Wrestling with runes. Can you learn about Younger Futhark Norse runes with pro wrestling? Surprisingly enough, yes you can, and I'm going to show you how. Take this name. This is the name of a major rising WWE superstar written in Younger Futhark. Now, even if you know nothing about Younger Futhark, I'm going to show you how to read this name. The first character is Ur. It is represented in English with the letter U, and its common sound values are U and O. Conveniently, it looks a lot like an upside down U. It's not that difficult to recognize. The second character is Bjarkan. It is represented in English with B, and it has the common sound values of B and P. It looks a lot like a B, no real trouble here. The third character is a little trickier, Ar. It is represented in English with A. It has the common sound values of A and A, among others. And again, it's a little tricky. It doesn't look a lot like an A. You can maybe remember it by recognizing that it looks like an I, so it's a vowel, and it has that diagonal line like an A has the kind of diagonal legs. It just doesn't have a second leg. That may help you, may not. Again, that one's a little tougher. Now, for the second word in the name, we have the character Fe. This is represented in English with F, has the common sound values F and V, and it's pretty easy. It looks a lot like an F, but with straight and pointing upward lines, diagonal lines, or curved ones, depending on how the runes are actually, stylized. But it looks a lot like an F if you kind of squint. So the next character is Is. This one's easy. It's represented in English with the letter I. Common sound values E, a number of them. This one's a little tricky, but as far as the sound values in Old Norse, but it's easy to remember what it basically represents and sounds like. It's largely the letter I and the sound E. The next character is Madr, which is represented in English with the M. It has the sound value of M. And the last character is another Is. Again, the character represented by I and the sound E. So just with the most common sound values, we get Oba Femi. Okay, if you're familiar at all with the current pro wrestling scene, you probably know who this is. But let's go over some alternate sound values. This is what you have to do when you learn Younger Futhark. It could be Oba Femi. It could be Oba Femi. It could be Oba Fami. Something like that. But if you go through enough of these, it could be Upa, for example. It could be Oba, Opa, whatever the case may be. But with Younger Futhark, you learn to kind of mull over these potential sound values, and you pick it up pretty quickly the more familiar you get with Younger Futhark. It's pretty obvious if you are into pro wrestling at this point, it's Oba Femi. Now, I hope this was instructional for you. I hope you are learning Younger Futhark Norse runes because it's very important. Elder Futhark is all the rage, but they weren't really used in the Viking era, the Viking Age era. If you're actually interested in the period when Norse mythology was written down, if you're interested in the age of the Eddas, for example, you want to do Younger Futhark, and that means you gotta learn it. And learning it doesn't have to be a grind, it can be fun.